Hello, this is Frank Boomer, and this is tonight's word of the day. China. Okay. So we're going to be doing this broadcast, this Frank Boomer episode, based on some media algorithms from sources we shall not reveal. I had a completely different show lined up. You would have loved my show, but I did some research and realized how all the words published are analyzed and processed, and things can happen to you if you choose the wrong words. And things could happen for you if you choose the right words. There's a reward-risk algorithm, and Frank Boomer doesn't give a fuck about it. I don't care, because I live in a country of free speech and I'm gonna have it. So I don't care about your algorithms. But if I did care, all I'd have to do is go back and take a sample media cut of anything. Give me 5 minutes, just give me some Tucker Carlson, whatever, whoever's Dan Rather, no, they're gone. 60 minutes, the show is gone. Give me some media you might, where do you get your media these days? You don't sit on the couch and watch Walter Cronkite no more. How does people get their news? There ain't no place. We don't have a town square to gather, but we kind of do. But if we did have, the Chinese invasion has taken that from you. You see, Chinese have invaded this country intentionally but subtly for 20 years or more. Emphasis on or more. Now, that's not disparaging China. Why, America's a conquering style of country. We have to admire an aggressive conquest with some Chinese subtlety. I mean, give the Chinese their due. They planned a really good invasion. They took care of almost everything. You would have to be awed at the precision of their plan and how we played along and still do, moment by moment. And that's how the Chinese planned on conquering America, with a drip, drip method. You've heard of the Chinese drip, drip torture? They use that with a combination of drip, drip torture and a Trojan horse. In other words, how would you invade a country if you sent your army in? You would get repelled and you would lose your resources, and you probably, it wouldn't work. So they invaded you with their stuff. Everything you need, everything you love, everything you crave was probably made in China. And now you need them. And that is step one. That's the Trojan horse. Now you're in the kingdom. And now the drip, drip method of conquering from within, like a cancer cell would, if given opportunity from negligent white forces, and would somehow get a stronghold, maybe a kidney or something like that. And that's how he would kill you, and you would never know it. You'd die one day, and no one attacked you. And that was the plan to attack America, and we played along so well. Simple rule: Americans love money, and they knew it. We were greedy, they knew all of our foibles, and they attacked them with a drip, drip method. Kudos to a good game plan. However, there was still one missing piece, a vital piece, without which all their doings and plottings would fall back upon them. And guess what? They can't get it. The missing piece they cannot find. It is not available to them. Guess what? The Chinese know this. Guess what? What choice do they have? None. They must continue their plan. The avalanche is coming upon them swiftly. That's a completely different story. The story of the beast that attacked America with cunning and design. But the missing piece that he needs so desperately is simply not to be his. So there is no fear. We all should celebrate. We almost got conquered by our own stupidity, but somehow we didn't. Hello, boomers of all ages, because you're Frank Boomer's Army. Frank Boomer is back. I've been studying things with my Sherlock Holmes methods. As you know, I employ sometimes. Unfortunately, Sherlock Holmes could not solve every case. And unfortunately, Sherlock Holmes would be of no avail for today's circumstance. What do you mean, Frank? Well, see, Sherlock Holmes is the expert at solving the crime. What we need is the expert in preventing the crime. Anyone who saw Sherlock Holmes' deductions after the fact were amazed. But what if someone could see them ahead? It would be nice. Guess what? We do. We have that individual. Guess who he is? You. That's the missing piece. The missing piece to the Chinese plan. They failed to realize they have to win over you. They tried to circumvent you and then eliminate you rather quickly because you were a problem. They've always wanted America, but they never wanted you. They wanted your country. They wanted your resources, your beautiful land. Your valuable, valuable country. They don't want you, they want your country. And that's fine. I don't expect the Chinese to care about my welfare. Why should I be concerned about his opinion of me whatsoever? He's a long way off and no threat to me. I wish him no harm, and I'm sure that is returned. As the Chinese, in my opinion, are a noble sort, with a long history of being wise. And so we've always assumed that the Chinese, whatever they were doing, were wise in their endeavors, and we cared about them not. And that was a mistake, because they are wise. They planned their attacks 100 years in advance. Or at least they claim to when one starts to work. The Chinese are not perfect. The Chinese have no imagination. They don't encourage it, and therefore they try to eliminate it. That's the missing piece as well, because you listening, when I know probably you're an American, If not, you are in the same mentality, because it's a worldwide attack. And China is just a piece of a larger puzzle. Isn't that interesting? Our enemy isn't really China. China is just an arm. The media is just the leg or the mouth. But we have been attacked, not Americans, you, wherever you are, you have been attacked by a very clever and very sophisticated plan. So clever that you would never know what hit you. And then there would be no witnesses, and so no one would know. A perfect crime. Except for the missing piece. It would not be a perfect crime with 3 of the 4 squares. And the Chinese simply tried to go around their biggest enemy, you. Because the things they try to implement, minimize, destroy. I can't say minimum. I don't want to learn that word. I hate that word. They can't marginalize people and get away with it. But they have, and they do. And they're growing, and they're strong, and they don't like you. Especially if you have an imagination or can think for yourself, or yearn for freedom, or express yourself artistically. They hate that. Why? Because they don't understand it. They don't have it. It's the missing piece. You can go to the Indians, they'll tell you how it works. It's all the same logic. Doesn't matter what the missing piece is, as much as there is a missing piece. And the Chinese, or whoever is involved, they don't have it. They don't have the missing piece it takes to conquer you. And guess what? That's what's been going on. You have been attacked, and you don't even know it. You think you've been served. The Trojan horse was very minute and very subtle, but the same method. Why would you not use the best strategies around if you want to conquer? You wouldn't. You would use tried and true. Tried and true, Trojan horse, and drip, drip. They're the perfect way to attack. The Chinese drip, drip method was the most cruel torture of all. And if one was designated to receive it, he would do anything to avoid it. It was the worst torture to receive. And then they discovered, what if you back off just a notch on the irritability? And what if you can actually hit dopamine spots with the drip, drip method? They are very sophisticated. They know human beings inside and out. These people are not just, they're engineers, they're scientists that know all about you, and they don't like you. And they're attacking you, and have for a very long time. And so the point to be made here is, they attack you through your weakness. So there is no defense other than avoiding weakness. You must analyze yourselves. If you're weak, it will be exploited. That's a given. And it'll be done in a way you don't notice. Drip, drip. Trickle-down economics. They've been telling you all along what method they are using. This is also part of the plan. Pay attention, you will have no problem. Eliminate your weaknesses, and you avoid most of your risk. weaknesses we're talking about are very easy to avoid. Greed. Don't be greedy. Instead, be generous. Reverse it. The weakness, make it a strength. Greed is the worst. There are many others, but if the enemy has no other weapon but to attack your weakness, you have no other defense than to not have any. Does the enemy have weaknesses? Yes. Are they being exploited? No, because we don't know. We don't know we're in a battle. But if you knew you were being attacked by the drip method and you could not stop the process, you could at least not participate and understand what's going on. And so if someone is attacking you with a drip method, what should you do? You shut off the valve and they have nothing. And guess what? It's being done. Watch, take a look. Twitter, Facebook, just among two, lost $51 billion yesterday. Is that chicken shit? Well, maybe. It might be. But that's just one day. They're shutting the valve off. They want to control the money, which is how they control you. And so the people who are fighting back, who know of the plan, have shut the valve off. From the other end. Fortunately, the Chinese had to rely on greedy people and greedy parties with multiple weaknesses to play along. That's how it falls back on them. The Chinese tried to bribe their way into our world and steal it from within, or simply watch it crumble. They attacked you on your weaknesses, but they had to use the weakest among you to get it to go. And so, the weakest among you are your leaders, or soon will be, if the plan continues. Guess what? They're still missing the piece. Everybody is missing the piece, and the piece is you. Until you, every one of you, actually go into the fold, they have nothing. They must have all four crystals. Just like in the stories, the missing piece, and they can't get it unless you give it to them. And you won't. You never have, and you never will. It only seems that way, because all they get are the stragglers, because they're using methods that's the only thing they can catch. The weak, the tired, and the oppressed. And so they must go into any round they choose to conquer and weaken it and darken it and destroy it slowly, drip by drip. And you simply have to say no. That's enough. And the game is over.
Ready?